So welcome everybody for this dev meetup. Today we're gonna be presenting a project that I've been working on. This week we are there is something that's called UTG Connect, and it's like a collaborative hackathon that's going on worldwide for ServiceNow. And this was a project that I've been working on for a few months, and it's something that's dear to my heart, as my wife can attest to that. Give it a shout out to Janacy. All right. So actually, I have a special guest here tonight, and I want her to just come up here really quick and just lead us in prayer, if you don't mind. So we want to just always give all the glory to God. Amen.
Amen. Let's bow our heads and close our eyes. Thank you, God, for this opportunity that you give each and one of us to be here, Lord. We ask you, God, that you may just take complete control, use Pastor Jenny in a mighty way as he gives this, Father, and that we may all enjoy ourselves and learn new things and have a good time. Amen.
Amen. Give it up to God. Amen. So, isn't this a beautiful picture, right? I took it from our UTG Connect. Yay. All right. So, but today we're going to talk about practice. We're going to talk about practice. We're going to talk about practice. No, I'm kidding. We're going to talk about racing. And this is brought to you by Thriving Solutions. Thriving Solutions is a company that me and my wife have created. And we are going to be presenting this on behalf of the company because it's something that we've been working on. And there's somebody calling, Pablo. All right. Yeah. I think he's outside. So we still got guests coming in. So just make room for all the guests that are coming. All right. But just to get started with our presentation. So this is kind of like the vision where we want to take these dev meetups, and the other part is kind of like talking about the project. But we had restarted this dev meetup about almost 2 years ago, right? And we want to continue allowing it to grow, giving opportunities to people. It has opened up the doors to people like myself to be able to go to different events, develop personal skills, develop technical skills, and to network and meet new people. So that's a little overview. So our dev meetups are happening every 2 months, right? Second Tuesday of the month. Here are the next dates. So the next one is going to be in October, God willing. And we just want to share the dates from now so we can start working towards those, okay? And we also have a social media, which you guys can join. It's Orlando SN Devs. We updated the name because snow is not like acceptable to call ServiceNow. It's not acceptable. Call it snow. We're not snowflakes here, okay? You guys are great. All right. This is my first and last stand-up comedy event, so take pictures, enjoy. So I was working on this last night with my wife, and I got inspired. Wherever I work with her, it just inspires me to do better, right? So these meetups is about just putting you in an uncomfortable space, right? But it's gonna allow you to it brings out the best in people, right? So we have had people here that are architects, developers, even people that are never heard of ServiceNow. So we have all types of ranges of experience, and we want to prepare people to be able to give out keynote speeches, to feel comfortable speaking to their peers and to even people they don't even know. And what we do is we share ideas, we share knowledge and experience, and we create new experiences. So today, I'd like to, create that new experience with you guys. And that's why you see that amazing track back there. You see that track is so beautiful. So that's a track. That's one of my hobbies. I just started last year, and it's opened up the doors for new people to come in and meet and be part of this. All right. So we want to collaborate, we want to meet people, and we want to do things that you actually get to do, right? It's one thing to just listen to somebody, but it's another thing to actually do stuff and be engaged with the community, right? And we want to continue this conversation. It doesn't just end here, right? We want to just continue this, working on projects, working offline, working in community, contributing to ServiceNow community, even in our own places of work. Okay, so that's kind of like the vision I'm casting here, and this is going to allow us to grow as individuals. It's going to allow us to grow as techs, as engineers, as developers, because we're giving our an opportunity for each one of us to grow. Sometimes we probably will ask you to, hey, can you be part of it, and it's your opportunity to learn, to practice and reinforce what you already have learned, right? Because many times we learn new things, but what happens? We never put it to practice, and it just fades away, right? So the more we put that muscle memory to work, the better it's gonna be effective in our minds, in our hearts. So feedback, it's always good to hear back from our members, from our community, and it helps us do better, right? Because maybe I don't have all the answers, but your feedback is gonna help me help everybody do better. Okay. And the other thing that we're looking for is better organization. These events are it takes a little bit of collaboration. It takes help. We have our spouses, we have our church members, we have friends that will come and help. But if we can work together, it's not just in one back. Okay, and it's gonna allow us to focus on what we need to do and be able to deliver better quality. And so these initiatives is going to involve like you be part of a group, maybe giving ideas, taking decisions, right? The agile methodology is about collaboration. We all have different roles, right? But we can share those roles too. So it doesn't mean that I'm leading the project always. I can be a support for your project. So we work together in that way. And when we develop these new systems, it's gonna help us, refactor things that might not work the best the first time, but the next time we know what works, we know that what doesn't work, we know how to make it better. And we only do that by experiencing it, by experimenting it. Okay. So those are the objectives. So what are we talking about today, huh? We're talking about practice. We're talking about tournament tracker. So this tournament tracker, for those who here is a Hot Wheel fan? Me. Yeah. Oh, she's becoming a Hot Wheel fan. Ooh. so so right? I like collecting Ferraris. I got a box somewhere in my attic with like 20 Ferraris. I don't even open those. I don't even look at it. And I don't know if they're worth anything, but I don't see, when you go to a store, you don't find any nowadays. So back then, you used to find all these things. So I wanted to build an app that will allow me to catalog my collections, and most importantly, when I was doing these tournaments, I watched some other YouTube, and people were like doing these races, and they were like putting the times in. So I was doing it on paper, but like I was in the outside of my backyard, and the weather and the paper just fade away, and it got wet. So like I was like, maybe I can build something that can help me keep track of all this information, right? So back in May, had the idea. I just started working on it. um I defined some tables. So these are some of the tables that we were talking about. We have a tournament. We have the matches for each tournament, and each tournament has a race. So there's a parent. So if you think about it, it's like a grandparent, parent, and child relationship. So all that information goes up that chain, right? And what that's going to allow you to do is you can compile that information, and the way that this is designed is um, there's a lot of relationships between the person, the vehicle, the track, the time and date, and the races. Okay, so there's some degree of relationship between all those things. And then in the next part, um, I started building the logic, right? So when we look at the project, I'm gonna just highlight a few things because there's a quite interesting things. There's things that are kind of boring, but um, it's a project that's evolved, and it's come to a point where I cannot do it all on my own anymore. I need help of the community to make it even greater. Um, the latest update, um, this project is actually in the cloud, right? So there's something called GitHub. Developers, they put their code on a place where you can go and you can download it, and you can build it the way that you think it could work. And if it does work, then you can contribute that piece of code back to the main project. So that's what that GitHub integration is all about. And that will allow anybody in the world work on this and perhaps make it better or make it a different version. So it's available. And in the last update in August, I was like, man, I need to finish this because it needs to work, at least that we can know who won. And that was the final update I did over the weekend. And we actually have a working project, perhaps. Hopefully. Looking forward, I got my brother here, Ryan, back there, and he's working on something perhaps that's gonna help us take this to the next level, which is making the track smart. Meaning that right now, whenever somebody wins, we go and we write down the numbers, and then we're involved in it, So it takes a little bit more effort. But if we can get this product to be more automated, that we can just, as participants, just pick the cars, run the races, and it guides you better. I think that's gonna allow this to be more feasible to be something that maybe companies can use for team bonding. They can use for different types of events that's not longer just a niche thing, but it could be a fun activity for the day. So that's the vision. And obviously, we have a lot more things that we can do through our platform, which is a service portal. It's more visual that we can see what's going on. Maybe notifications to the person who won, things like that. So what, Daniel? So what? Why? Why? Well, I brought some stats, right? So if you look at there's some big numbers, right? So it says 75% of employees who participate in team building activities say they have improved their communication to their peers, right? So this brings people together. And we saw that, like we did one at our men's event at our church. And, I don't know if they remember what I talked about that day, but they did remember the races that they they won and who won that race, right? So they did have a good time. Um, you know, put us together with some cars and we'll have fun. And then it also improves performance for the team, right? So when you get to know your team members more, you won't be afraid of reaching out and not talking just about cars, but talking about business at a more efficient way because you're not afraid of bothering somebody, but you already build that relationship with your coworkers that you're gonna be able to work better. So there's actual benefit for people with these types of events. Okay, so that's why. So what are some of the key features I want to highlight today? So we have what is Flow Designer. Flow Designer is basically an automation. So we take ServiceNow has a thing that triggers like there's a trigger. A trigger can be you create a new record. It could be time based. It could be an event that happens. It can, and then you can specify it to a certain condition, right? So this project is I'm using what is like state management. So in ServiceNow we have I kind of model it towards what it is change management. So they use state a lot, meaning that um, before the event starts, that's like on one state. That's like a draft. When you're creating the whole thing, you getting everything ready. Once you have everybody ready, so earlier we have everybody pick two cars. So we pick our cars. So that's we're at the ready state. So once we have the amount of cars that's an even number, then we're ready to start the race. So when we hit the start, um, we are the system is doing checks in the background, making sure that we have a good record to start. So it's not going to allow us to start if we're not ready yet. So those are some of the controls we have in place that allows this app to have the information it needs to do what it needs to do. Okay, so that's the state management part, and when I build the apps, I try to think about that because there's a life cycle to certain things. So this life cycle is, you start the race, it goes through each round, you get the winners, and at the end you have one main winner, right? And then we're tracking other things too. We're tracking the times, we're tracking how many races they are racing, we're tracking how many times they won, how many matches they won, and we can use that to display better data. Okay. The next part we're looking at is when people create forms. Like I'm really big into creating forms, and we use forms for a lot of things with our church, with our nonprofit. So sometimes forms are kind of dumb, right? So when you design them a certain way, you can design them to give you good data. Because the biggest problem that companies have is they have a lot of data, but the data that they have is not as useful, or it might not be what they call normalized, right? A normalized database is gonna have the same data types. Okay, so a different data type is like you can have a number or a string, which is letters and numbers, right? But if you have a string in a integer, then that data is not the same, and it's going to give you issues when you pull reports and things like that. So a good record producer and a smart record producer is going to give you the data that you want, and it's going to allow it to be easier for the user to input that data, and it's going to give you the required data that you need too. And I have a few things that I'm going to demonstrate that it allows us to do that in the platform, which is like choice fields. So we have choice fields that we define, and we can then in the future use that for randomization to create different things that the way that you picking your list is going to create a unique you guys remember when you used to go on Facebook and you fill out the quiz and they give you, oh, you're this character, right? According to the answers, right? So things like that you can kind of create according to those data points. Okay. So those are the record producers, and then innovation, right? So we use a few innovative tools that ServiceNow is now creating with the AI, and I tried some of them to help me code certain things. It helps cut down on the time of development too. When you use these tools, they're smart tools. They help the person be more efficient. So some of those tools I use it in the flow to do research, and it just helped me be able to create this project on my own. So bigger teams can use these tools and they can be more efficient, more agile. All right, so flow designer. So what are we talking about here? Okay, okay. So this is more like the state management that I was talking about. So we have what is draft. So this is when we set up the settings, and then we have the client scripts. Those are the controls that we put in place. So it only allows you to move forward once you meet all those requirements. Once you're ready, there's a button that appears. So the button's not there if you're not ready. Once you're ready, that button appears, and then you can click it, and it's going to move it forward to the next stage. Okay, and it creates all the matches. And then when we're in progress, that's where we are in the in the actual races are going around. It's showing us each round. Once that round's done, it goes to the next round. So it has all those all the that automation built into it. Okay. All right. And then customize it. So there's actually an app that I don't have it here. Where'd it go? So there's an app, and basically each person, well, we didn't do it today, but I will take a photo. I'll put your name. You pick some basic information, right? And then all the cars are already cataloged too. So each car has like a QR code. Each car is already in our system. So we can assign the person to the car. So basically, you driving that car, right? And all that we can do it through the app. Okay. And a new feature we just added was creating teams. So sometimes you represent a certain garage, you represent a certain team, and you can rep your team, you know. So you can do different kinds of races by teams. The other thing is that we are categorizing things. So you can run races by different categories. You can run races by weight classes, by the type of car. So there's a lot of different ways that you can um, run these races. Okay. So we can track all that through the app. All right. So that's about it for the presentation part. Does anybody have any questions? ¿Tú tienes una pregunta? No. Okay. Right here.
So, do you offer these team buildings obviously for different businesses? Like if they wanted to do like a team building for their organization with board members and stuff like that, do you offer that to them?
Yes, you can call my secretary back there, and she can arrange all the arrangements. Okay. But yeah, definitely that will be the plan. We have brought this to our men's event. We have brought us to the back to school event, and we're here today. So I think it's something that we can replicate. There's not much materials. We can get this set up in within an hour. And once we get more advanced technology, I think actually the people we can train them for them to run it, and it wouldn't be so difficult because everything's on the app. So, you know, that would be the plan. But yeah, yeah, definitely we can bring this to any events that you guys are interested in. All right. Um, you had a question? Okay, right over here. This beautiful lady right here.
So, the question is, I know that it's set up for Hot Wheels. Um, any idea or anything that it might be the app available for any other type of race other than just Hot Wheels?
Great question. Actually, um, I I'm currently working on a different version of it. In this office, we do different activities, and I was thinking of creating an app that's more general as far as multi-purpose. This version of the app is to run a foosball tournament, and it uses a similar structure. So some of the things can be similar. And then another idea I had was to build a version of it where you can pick the different kind of games, and then when you pick the game, it applies those rules, and then it uses what it needs, right? So you have users, right? You got players, you have teams, and then you have like the set of rules, right? And then you got the scoring functions. So then you have to probably define the games to a certain extent. Games are Some games are similar, some games are a lot different. So maybe there could be a certain amount of games that are easy to transpose, but then there's probably going to be other games that are kind of harder to keep track of the same way. But we also thought about fantasy football game, brackets, or like in an office potluck thing that you put $10, and you pick the team you think is going to win, and it could actually be connected to like information that's publicly available and things like that. So I think it could be applied to other different sports. But this one's unique because I did not find any software out there that does this for Hot Wheels. So I think it's a niche that people can actually use because there's no alternative or that I know of. Yeah. Do you know of any software that can do that? No. So just oh, just the light. Yeah. Yeah, and then you gotta like write it on paper. Yeah. So, that's the easiest that anybody can do that. But this is going to allow you to keep history of past events. You can compare similar tracks. Each track could be different, but you can maybe build a track at a similar spec, and there's people on YouTube that have tracks all over the U.S., all over the world, and they send their cars to compete on these different racetracks, and it could be something that a lot of them can use, and then you can compile all that different information and really take a look at it and really determine who's the best, right? So yeah, I think it's a pretty cool app. I would like to really definitely take it to the next level. So I'm gonna do a quick demo. Does anybody else have a question? Do you have any questions online, Shayna?
Good to go. Thank you.
You good? All right. So let me see. I'm gonna log in here. You guys still can see this, right? All right. So it timed out. So we're just gonna log in. I feel like running a race right now, just to kill time, right? Okay. So here we are. So yesterday we inputted over 70 cars for my personal collection, what do you got? What do you brought here? Huh? He brought some. He got some. Oh, yeah. So I got all these. Let's see. We'll race. Oh, look at that. Oh, he got them in plastic and everything. Are those custom? Oh, nice. All right. So we'll take a look at those. Actually, where's my phone? Oh, you have it. Right up. So here, I need a volunteer to help me input these cars. But if we go on this app, so the out of box app, we have what is called add a driver. Okay, so we'll add a driver, but actually we're just interested in the car. So we'll go ahead and add wheels and see it's a really simple form. So um so we just take a picture of it and then just pick the categories. So do you want to like okay, so he's gonna input that and then just try to input as best information as you can. But as we can see here, each car, we can keep track of the name of it. Ah, no. Yeah. So if you can see, we got the car, we got the driver. So this is like a relationship, right? So this car belongs to this person. And then we have some stats here. So everything's empty because we haven't tracked these. We haven't raced these yet. But as you can see, we can input all of our cars, okay? Then if we go to the tournament, so we have here, so we have a tournament here created, okay? So this is what it will look when we create our tournament, right? So this is the actual record, but the record producer is going to help you pick a lot of this information a lot easier, okay? But basically, in this example, we have 16 cars, right? And then we have 16 competitors down here. So this is the size of that race or that tournament. So it's going to create 8 matches. So as we can see here, we have all of our matches on this example, right? And then we already have raced a few of these already. Okay, so huh? Oh, is it asking for the name? Oh, yeah, because you got to do that first. But just skip that for now. Yeah. So we can always fix that. So basically, this will be the next race in this tournament. Okay. So if we look here, so our match um doesn't have a winner yet, right? So we have our 2 cars and we have 2 races for them, okay? So if we go to our first race, we can now see the type of vehicles, right? And then the newest thing we did is I printed out some little QR codes with three to four digits, right? So these little QR codes, we could potentially use this to differentiate each car because sometimes you'll have the same car, but people have, it's not the same car. It's the same model, but they're different cars. So this is like a unique number for them that we can actually scan on the app. There's like a little camera thing, and you can just scan it. And one of the updates we want to do is to be able to pull up that car right away. Right now, it just scans it, and we don't do anything. But let's say we're gonna run this race. So actually, I need a volunteer to find these 2 cars. Isaiah, do you want to help me find these two cars? So we need to find a Nissan Silvia S13. It's that white car. And we need to find a Tesla Model X. Anybody got a Tesla here? You got a Tesla? Someday. Yeah. All right. So we're going to run this. So we're going to put this one in lane 1. All right. You guys found them? So we're going to go and move over here to our track. Okay, you found them? Okay, and then the white one. This one. Sylvia. All right, so we got 2 cars. All right, so here's, I don't know if you can see that, but here's our little cars. So this is lane 1. No, you can't go up there. No. All right. And yeah, actually. All right. So Isaiah is going to start the race. On your marks, get set, a correr. All right. And the Tesla took it. All right. So we got some times, right? So if we take a look, what was the time on which one won? Oh, the Tesla, right? Okay, so all right, what's the one in the left? What's that? What's that number? 2 seconds? What? Yeah, no, the one on the left. 155. And the other one? 107. Okay, so there's a race. Now we gotta race them one more time, okay? But they need to switch lanes. So we save that. So see, it already found the winner of this race. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next race. So if we put that like that, you can't reach it. Oh no. Somebody save her. Yeah, in the middle 2 lanes. Yeah. All right. So next race, go. A correr. Boom. So Tesla won again. Okay. So what's the time for the left? 106. Okay. And the other one? 121. Okay. So boom. So now they needed to win 2 to move on to the next round. So we got our winner. So we go up to the match. Okay, so now we see that our match winner is the Tesla. Okay, this is now completed. And we got our times. We got our fastest time out of the bunch, right? And that's it for this one. So now we go back to the tournament, and now we can see the next race going on. Okay, so basically that's the we do that for each race, and then we have fun, right? You know, what will be a lot fun is if we didn't have to put in the time each time, right? But we love this stuff, and you know, we just got to do it. So just to show you a little bit of the background on this really quick, because I did mention in the presentation about what this flow designer looks like. So if we go here, we have something called Workflow Studio. Okay, so Workflow Studio is the newest flow designer page, and we can see all of our flows. So a flow is just basically an automation. And this project has about 12 different flows. Well, yeah, I created like 12 flows, but active there's about maybe 8, and that's what we use to run most of these things. So one that's pretty interesting is how we get it started. So there's also a feature that we can run a pre a qualification round. So it's gonna know you're gonna run each card by itself several times, and it's gonna build who's number one. Okay, and then when we do the matches, we can match the fastest, but not with the slowest. We match them with the middle one. Okay, and then we go down like that. So that's one of these variables here. So if we go here, okay, it's over here actually. So it's like a piece of code, and yeah, it should be here. So variables, when you set a variable, you can code. You can use some code, and it lets you like build lists. This one just builds a list. This one gets the competitors, the list of competitors. All right, and then this one, okay, this one qualifier list. Okay, so here we get our competitors qualifier. Okay. All right, this is the one I was talking about. Okay, so this one is where we are taking um, the top 16 or 32, and then we're taking that list and we're cutting it in half, and then we're matching the first and the eighth, and then the second and the nine, like that. Okay, and that builds our list. Then we can, or if we don't do qualifiers, we just randomize them. So this one just takes that list and just randomizes them. Then once we have our matches, so this was an interesting thing I had to do because when you have four each, right, it goes one by one. But when we have matches, you got to go two by two. So we are doing a do until. So that's a type of loop that it's gonna loop until we're done. So the done means the amount of matches that we have. So the amount of cars is, let's say, 32. The amount of matches is going to be half of that. So it's 16. So that's a basic math right there. So until we are done with all of our matches, we're going to go ahead and set number one and number two, and then number two and number three and number four. So all that logic stuff is happening here in this flow. So once we set this up, we don't really have to think about it, but you just got to make sure that it's correct, right? So we use some logs, and we tested this a few times, um, and we're using a lot of variables. And the variables basically just lets us define a value, and then we can use it in our code. So that's how we got the matches going. Um, yeah. So why is this empty? Is that empty? Okay, so I'm not gonna touch it, but that did work because we saw it, right? We saw it working, so that's good. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about really quick was we have what is called record producers, and one interesting thing that I learned from Knowledge was they have something that's called a choice field, and it's kind of interesting to find where we can define that. So, dang. So this is live. So I'm going as quick as I can. But basically, when I went to Knowledge, by the grace of God, right? So they invited me from the dev meetups. I wasn't even working. I didn't have money. But I went to Vegas anyway, and it was a great experience. And I saw some people. I was like, "Hey, I'm interviewing for ServiceNow, and I'll be working there soon." And they're like, "Yeah, we hope to see you there." So, I went to the thing, and there was a hackathon event going on, and it was something that we had like um from 5 p.m. to like midnight to come up with a project and build it. And I met some guys there, and they were already working together. So we kind of built a little project, and we got it. We actually got it finished. And so you can do a lot of stuff in one night. So that's pretty interesting. So this so this is where we have all of our forms and all that. So if we go here, add driver, okay. So there's something here. It's called so this is kind of like the form that I was talking about. So if we can load it, yeah, there we go. So these forms are really like they were really hard to create this before, but there's something that's called App Engine Studio, and it streamlines a lot of stuff. It's a lot easier than what we see here because the interface is a lot better. But for us to see this feature, because you have to do it from here. So to add a photo, all you need to do is you define the variable and then you change the type to attachment. You can't do that from the easy builder, but if you go here, you can do that. So that's one key point here. And then the other thing is there's choice fields, which this one, okay, yeah, this one. Look up select box. So this driver type is looking up a field in our database. And you think it's kind of easy to do, but there's actually um, this is more for the people watching this in the future because this took me a few hours to figure out. So I just want to share this really quick. And if you go to a choice field, so everything in ServiceNow is a record on a table. So everything we see here is records on tables upon records on tables. So there's thousands of different tables that makes this whole thing function, right? A lot of smart people build this over 20 years. So right now, to put a choice field, this is what you do. You select your choice, and then this is the key right here. Reference qualifier, element driver type. So this is the name of that field, which is an element, okay? So if you do that, then it's gonna work. So, yep. So that's pretty much it as far as like the technical things. Um, Other than that, what I'm looking forward to work on with the community, for developers out there, is there's actually stories that we have created, and a story is basically something that a user will wish existed, right? Who here has ever had a great idea that you think companies should implement, right? We got a great idea, right? So that's a user story, right? So users they see how great the app is, but there's always something missing, right? So these stories are what I would like to see, right? I think I created this one. I already done. This one was the last thing we created, but basically, um, okay, most of these stories are already done, but there is one big story which is integrating um the smart app. Okay, so making the track smart, and there's a way to do that. Basically, we're upgrading the computer on our system, and this was developed by a developer overseas. Um, he used a hardware that's not Wi-Fi. It's nothing, it works for what it is, but if we can take it to the next level, we'll be connecting that to the internet, and whenever the race is done, we just get those numbers. That's all we want. And if we can do that, it's gonna allow us to automate this a little bit better. So that's gonna be the next step in this project. Okay. So other than that, what do you guys think? Sounds good. So, on the second part, we were hoping to have people like actually work on the code. Um, but if we have nobody developing today, we can just do our races, right? What do you think? So it's about what time is this? It's almost 8 o'clock. And that's pretty much for my presentation. Thank you so much. Um, if you online have anything you like to share, um, did you understand what the project is? Do you have any questions? What's your experience with ServiceNow? Shayna, I'm putting you in the spot.
Fair enough, fair enough. No, I found this really interesting. I actually have a few notes, took a few notes and learned a few things. I actually work with MuleSoft and APIs as of now, but I'm actually in the process of learning this ServiceNow and studying for the CSA. So this is super helpful and I really enjoyed this. So thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Any ideas? Anything that we can improve?
Um, Honestly, I feel like just of now, just from this side, it's pretty inclusive. I felt involved the entire time, so I don't have any comments as of now. But if I think of anything, I'll be sure to share with you all.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you so much. How did you hear about us?
Actually, a friend of mine, Vanessa, she told me about this group, and I just happened to come on Meetup and saw it. So again, it's just the timing is great. So.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, yeah. We hope to do more of these types of events. We love to meet people in person. We're here in the ServiceNow office here in Orlando. So if you're close by, you're definitely welcome. And yeah, definitely looking to working with the community to bring different kinds of talks, different kinds of hands-on experiences, and just grow as individuals, as a group. Okay.
um,
So awesome, awesome. Does anybody have any other question? Does anybody want to speak? Does anybody want to eat? There's still food over there. All right. Okay, they all want to race. All right, let's race. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this call here. So thank you so much for joining us in this dev meetup. Um, you can follow us at Hot Tracks Diecast Racing on YouTube. That's a YouTube channel for the Hot Wheels. If you're interested in looking at some awesome looking videos, you can also visit our beautiful church in St. Cloud, where Pastor Abigail is our worship leader, and she has a beautiful voice, and she's gonna take us out in a worship song tonight. And she did that laugh like, but if you want to hear her angelical voice, every Sunday at 10 a.m. we're in St. Cloud. Kissimmee St. Yes, Kissimmee. All right. Well, I am almost out of words, because us men, we only get certain amount of words per day. Uh, oh, the name of the YouTube channel. Yes, I'll write it here. It's Hot Tracks Diecast Racing. So, you know, and we have a aficionado here. Well, how long have you been collecting Hot Wheels, huh? Before I was born. Mhm. 95. Wow. Before you were born? In high school. Hey, I'm back there, man. I'm like 2003. I started my collection. All right. And I steal my kids' cars now. But yeah. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and finish this call here. Thank you so much for joining us, and you guys have a blessed day. Studio.